Rev up your engines, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Auto Auction Rebuilds. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to talk about everything wrong with the 350Z. This video might take a while. Let's go. First and foremost, always buckle up for safety. Let's go for a test drive. Not bad. She's got a little bit of pep in her step. Woo! Whoa! All right, maybe that wasn't the greatest idea I've ever had. Oh man, this is great. Not to worry, the car is rebuilt, title, good tags, it's insured. Worst possible thing that can happen is I'm gonna get a ticket for driving with a cracked windshield. So it's worth mentioning that we have great AC coming through the windshield right here. It feels amazing. It's actually a pretty decent day today. And the suspension seems to be fine. The steering wheel is straight. It seems to be driving nice and solid with no issues. I mean, aside from the obvious, which is you can't see through the windshield. This is a fun little car, even for an automatic. I'd prefer it be a stick myself, but it's a fun car. Let's get back to the house before we get ourselves in trouble. Let's go over some of the real problems with this car. So you think the Z was a good deal at $2,150 out the door, right? What could possibly go wrong? I'm going to show you that right now. Now, at first glance, it doesn't look so bad. In fact, I think it looks pretty damn good. This is honestly my first 350Z. Now, I've had a lot of Nissans in the past. I've even had a couple Datsuns, for those of you that remember Datsun. That was Nissan before they were Nissan. That looks like a pretty decent car. And we're going to talk about everything I found wrong with it so far. And we're going to start right here. Now, hopefully this comes out clear in the video. This is one color. This is another. This is one color. This is another. The paint is seriously off on this car, and this is what I've been complaining about for the past couple of days. This is why I said I really think I messed up on this. Now, at first glance, because I didn't know this car, I thought this was just some kind of a fender flare. Well, no. Upon closer inspection, we have trash in the paint. I'm sure even on this camera, you can see the garbage in the paint. It is lumpy, it's got trash in it, it's bubbled. And right here, hear the difference in the sound? Someone's done some body work here. So when I first looked at it, I noticed the wheel gap there and the lack of a gap here, and I thought, suspension damage. No, I've climbed under it. The suspension looks completely fine around the whole car. I've checked ball joints, tie rods, control arms. Everything looks straight. The issue is, look at the gaps here. Look at this. This is not acceptable. Tight gaps, loose gaps. This is way off. This is way off. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but look at this. This is shoddy. The gaps up here. So I thought, oh man, it's got frame damage from the accident. Here's what really happened. According to Carfax, a couple years ago, this car suffered a rear-end collision on the passenger side. It was listed as minor damage, and apparently the car lived on with its life in California and Texas, and then eventually Oklahoma. So thankfully, that damage was not something related to the most recent accident, which is what concerned me. I was afraid we had some kind of hidden damage from this wreck that I did not see in the photos. Now, let's go over the rest of the car. So starting with the obvious, it needs a windshield. That's going to run me about $200, and I actually saved $20 thanks to that Honey extension for Google Chrome that I saw from Sam Crack and that I've promoted to you guys. So a link to Honey is going to be in the description because I saved $20 on a battery, and I'm now saving $20 on a windshield through someone else I saw through Sam Crack, and that is Safelite Auto Glass. So a couple $100, we'll have this window replaced. Next, we have a broken headlight. The entire assembly needs replaced. Fender is trashed as well. And of course, along with all of this other stuff, the bumper is no good. It's been completely ripped apart here. This is not even fixable. And moving along from the headlight and the fender, we get over here and the mirror is missing. So we got to get a mirror for it as well. And then there's the little things that a lot of people overlook. Down here we have the inner fender liner. The inner fender liner is here, but the second half, which goes to the front of the car, is gone. Moving over to the other side, you'll see the same thing. That inner fender liner is missing and probably has never been installed since, I would guess, the original accident. Now, one thing I can't show you, because this car sits so low, there is a splash pan, an underbelly pan that goes from those points on the bumper there, and they run all the way back over the motor to the back end of the engine over here. That is also missing. Boy, I cannot talk today. All right, so that's mostly all of the major stuff. But here's the thing. This car has got a horrible paint job. I mean, it doesn't look bad from, I don't know, 3 feet away. But here's the deal. We've got scrapes all down this fender. It's chewed up. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's dings all over. We've got a pretty good ding here. We've got another one here. We got a rust spot up here, another ding here. And don't forget, because of the accident on the other side, all the gaps on the back end are significantly off. I'm OCD about stuff like this. We got a big chip here. The paint is all mismatched over here. The body filler is horrible on this side. Ding here, 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 here. Maybe easier to point out the good spots on the car than it is to show you all the bad ones. Everything up here looks all right. The hood, I can't believe I forgot the hood. The hood is no good either. The hood is wavy. It's been creased along here. I don't know if you can see this crack in the paint. Cracked here. All of this cracked. This is all bent out of shape. So we're going to need a hood for it as well. Now let's talk about numbers. Aside from that, the top works. It was my stupidity the other day. I couldn't figure out how to get the top to work. I thought it was broken. As it turns out, the top was not broken. You have to have the car running, and you have to have your foot on the brake. It has to be in park, foot on the brake, the top will open and close then. Now, aside from that, it runs great, drove down the road great, has no problem burning rubber, great. This rim is pretty chewed up, but otherwise looks okay. All right, now we can go over the price of some of the parts. If I want them all painted the factory blue, which wouldn't make any sense because this car has got an aftermarket paint job that's not going to match up with the factory paint anyway, it'd be about $1,750. Now, for a lot of these parts, some are used, some are third-party aftermarket, but let's just run through this real quick. The engine splash shield, used OEM, is $90. A pair of front aftermarket fender liners is $50. An OEM used mirror in the blue color is $90. A pair of the headlights, aftermarket cheap ones, $273, or about $400 for a single OEM used headlight. A third-party aftermarket fender is $74.10, already primed and ready to go. The hardware for the fender, the splash shields, all that stuff, supposed to be a complete hardware kit, is around 15 bucks. Now the hood is probably the biggest one on this list because it's so big. For an original equipment blue hood, and it doesn't matter what color, they're all about the same price anyway. You're looking at about $550, $600 shipped. For a aftermarket carbon fiber hood, which I think is going to look really sick, $645 shipped. So I think the carbon fiber is probably the best way to go on that. But I want you to comment below and tell me, would you prefer an OEM hood or a carbon fiber hood? You tell me, comment below. The bumper, aftermarket, $236 primed. Can't forget the hood hinges. Those are most likely bent as well, $43. By the time we're done with everything, it comes out to around $1,520. That is with taxes, fees, everything shipped to the door, ready to go. Now, because the hood is technically usable at this point, I may hold off on the hood. This is going to be expensive. And let me tell you, this is just the cost to put the car back together. This does not include any additional body or paint work. Now, if we skip the hood and the hood hinges, we're going to come out to about $850 delivered to the door. So all in all, not bad. But the issue is, for me, this car cost me $2,150 out the door. $2,150 plus an additional $1,500. So at the end of the day, we're looking at about $3,600 just to put the car back together, before paint, before any body work, before that rear quarter panel that's got some serious Bondo going on that probably needs to have the rear end disassembled and see if the frame needs pulled, or at least have the body work done properly. This is where things start getting tricky. If we put the car back together and don't worry about that quarter panel, paint all the parts, go get a cheap Mako paint job, we're literally talking about just over $4 grand for a car that you can buy in my market for around $5,500. So the issue for me, the biggest issue is not getting it painted and doing all that. The biggest issue for me is putting all these parts on, doing the best I can to make this car look good while still, trying to save a little bit of money in the process. But that rear quarter panel, I really hate to go and put all this work in to make it look as good as I can, to have that rear quarter panel still ruined. It throws the whole car off. It really does. It's now, maybe to someone with an untrained eye, maybe some teenager looking for just a quick, fast little roadster, that would be fine. But my OCD will be killing me over that rear quarter, and I don't even know how much that's going to cost. That's something I'm going to have to... my godfather actually does this too. He does Copart. He likes to play with cars and things like that. He does it for himself, not for a profit or anything like that. It's just a hobby that he really enjoys. He knows a frame guy. He knows a paint guy. Maybe I can talk to him and see if we can at least get the car in, get it looked at, and see what it would take to fix that quarter panel. But by the time we're done, if we include fixing that rear quarter panel, we probably won't be able to make a dime off of this car. But it will make for some good video content. So I'm going to ask you all what your opinion is. Would you like to see the build continue? Or alternatively, I think we could part it out. I've seen the engine alone go for $1,000 to $1,300. We could make our money back pretty quickly just selling body panels. One headlight runs $350, $400, and I've got a good headlight. I've got a good engine, good tail lights. We've got a good fender, a couple good doors. I mean, we got a lot of parts. It runs and drives, at least from what I've seen around the block here. It runs and drives so damn well. I hate to kill the car. Cutting it up is killing it. I hate to kill the car over it, and I guess at the end of the day, personally, I would rather, that's my job. My job is to save cars from death. So while that rear quarter may forever be an eyesore, maybe we can put this car back together and make it a fun, affordable, daily driving roadster for somebody, for somebody's kid or something, I think that's what I would prefer to do. But look at the video, tell me what you think of that rear quarter panel, and tell me what you think you would estimate it costing to fix that. I think we're going to get out of here. Stay tuned for the next video. Safe Light should be coming out to install that window, and I'm hoping they're going to let me record that so we can share that experience with you and take her out on a proper drive somewhere other than just around the block. We can't take it out with the windshield blown out like that. That's not going to happen. That's my cue. I think that's Safe Light calling right now. I'm going to get out of here. If you enjoyed the content, give the video a big thumbs up, comment below, stay safe out there, everybody, and I will catch you very soon in the next one. Hello? Spam calls.